So now we're moving on to the other estate sale. And this one was the kind of estate sale where they just put up pictures, and once their pictures are online, they also list a price, and you just can buy the item outright at that time. However, they didn't do shipping, and that's one thing you've got to check with online estate sales. Sometimes sales will do shipping, so you can shop sales in other parts of the country, which is really nice. But you've got to watch it because shipping costs can really be very high for items, and sometimes they charge a handling fee for packing or getting it to the post office or UPS store. So you've got to be careful on your cost increase and make sure you're getting a good enough deal on the item itself if you are reselling. So just to know that, I really like the ones like this because I can pay online, know that the item is mine, I don't have to worry about the ending auction, and then once I've paid, they send me a time or an address to pick up, and they usually put that, not the address, but they will put the times in the details for the sale to make sure that you're able to pick them up at that time. But it's really nice because it's no pressure, and you can just go, and usually there's a couple of different times, so it's usually at your convenience that you can go and pick them up. All right, so this is the things that I bought at that estate sale. Now the first one is kind of funny, and I'm not even really sure why I bought it, but I just liked it, and it was this vintage Everlast dustpan. And I'm thinking this dustpan has probably seen some things, but it is a pretty heavy metal. It's really nice. I don't even know that they make dustpans like this anymore. It is branded there in the middle. It says Everlast. It's got some pretty nice wear to it. The handle, the paint, you can see is worn completely off. And anyway, I just thought this was fun. So I picked it up, and it was, I think, $6 maybe. All right. The next item that I picked up was this sweet little child's dish. It's a very heavy ceramic, and on the back you can see it was made by Weller Ware, so Weller Pottery. And what I thought, I didn't know this when I picked it up. I didn't know the brand. I didn't know that this little tag was on the back because they didn't show the back. They just showed the front in the pictures. So sometimes you're kind of taking a chance when you do the online sales. Sometimes you can take the pictures and do a Google image search and find out a little bit more about them. But anyway, this one was in really good condition, and so I went ahead and picked it up. It was $8, I believe, and no, this was $6 also. But the little label down here on the bottom is so fun, and it says Bill's and Marie's Childhood Dish, 1928 and 1930s. So, you know, it's got some provenance for this little dish. We know that it's from the 20s and 30s, and Bill and Marie, I guess, are brother and sister that used this dish when they were children, and that's just awesome. So, yeah, I love that. I love that little dish. Now the next two things are tablecloths that I picked up, and I adore vintage tablecloths, and this one had just such fun colors. It has a coffee motif on it, if you can see that. So it's got some different coffee pots, maybe a canister for coffee, some coffee cups, some different kitchen items, and it has a fun border in the middle as well as along the edge, and I love the combination of the green and pinks and blues and yellows. So that's just a really nice tablecloth, and this one is in really good condition. There's no stains that as I just did that, there is a little bit of a stain there, but not too bad. But I really like this one. This one I will probably sell as a tablecloth. And the other one does have a little bit more of a condition issues. This one is yellow and it's got a little bit more staining on it, a little bit more issues. I'm not sure. I may try to treat those to see if they come out. But this one also, has the kitchen utensils on it, that kitchen theme, and you know, this isn't a fancy tablecloth. This would be an everyday kitchen tablecloth, and I like these because even if I can't get those stains out, they're fun to use to make other items with as well. I saw a really fun red, white, and blue apron this last weekend at an antique mall that I went to, and it was made out of vintage tablecloths, so that was a lot of fun. Okay, the last few things, and there are several, that I got at that estate sale was jewelry. And I got quite a bit of jewelry. They were in 5 lots, but the lots each had multiple items in those lots. And I'm just kind of getting into jewelry and vintage jewelry and antique jewelry and trying to learn about it. So I spent some money on it, and some things I may have paid to learn on this one, but I think I came out ahead, so I think we're going to be okay. The first lot were these little pins, little brooches. I hope you can see that. This is a little ladybug, and this one is marked. It does have a label inside her little body there that says Trifari. And Trifari is a brand that is very sought after in vintage jewelry. So she is really cute. I haven't looked up comps on her, but she's adorable. So, and along with the ladybug came these 2 little cute mushrooms. Now, most Kitcher vintage people know mushrooms were very popular in the 60s and 70s, and for decor items and fashion items. And these are not marked. There's a little orange one and a little one with green polka dots, and so they're not marked. I may try to figure out who the maker is on those, but they're enameled and just super cute. And for that lot I paid $16, which it's not unheard of, just like for the Trifari ladybug, to pay well over that. So I felt like that was a pretty good deal. The next lot had 2 of these same pins, and these are Cora pins, another well-known name in vintage jewelry. So they're the same pin, 2 of the same little bug, and they have these little bellies here. Some people will call these jelly bellies, but these are not actual jelly bellies because the stone is faceted. The true jelly bellies were a clear cabochon type stone. Then some people moved to start calling any of the ones that had a cabochon stone for a belly jelly bellies. You know, I guess it depends on how pure you want to be on what you call it, but that term started out just referring to the ones that have clear cabochons. But I just thought these little guys were super cute. I'm not sure if they're supposed to be bees or flies or what type of insect. Some type of diptera. Yeah, that's my biology geek background coming out. But they only have 2 wings instead of 4, which means they're in the Dipterophylla. So, the next lot is the one that I'm the most unsure about, and it was a lot. I only paid $10, and there's 6 pieces in it, so it's not a huge loss if I don't get anything out of it. But it said that these were old Victorian brooches, and They were really cool looking online, but this is another danger of purchasing online, is I could not tell a lot about the condition from the photos, and these have quite a bit of condition issues. So if you look at this one, I have no doubt that they're old, but it does have quite a bit of oxidation on it. And this one has, like, it looks like it should have had a pearl here, and there should have been pearls all the way around this piece right here. In fact, when I picked it up, there was still one tiny pearl perched on the outside that fell off in the bag. When I went to take him out to film the video, I noticed that pearl had fallen off. But yeah, I'm just not sure how old this is. The other thing is, a lot of these pins in this lot look like the clasp have been replaced. So one of the things that you look at when you're identifying the age on costume jewelry, or really any type of jewelry, is what kind of clasp it has. And these have the kind of, it's like a clasp that twists to hold the pin in. Can y'all see that? Yeah. And let's see how you lock it in by twisting this little piece. That's a later type of clasp. That's not a Victorian type of clasp. However, it does look like the clasp may have been replaced. So, I don't know. This one is also one that looks like, well, it may have had some work done on the clasp. One thing that's really weird is it doesn't line up. Where the clasp, well, I'll show you the front first. So it's got these green stones. It is a pretty heavy metal, maybe like a pot metal. It does have green stones with some of them missing. It looked like at one point it may have had some paint or enameling on it. But the back, the pin doesn't really line up with the clasp, which is kind of odd. I'm not sure what to make of that. It does have a mark. It has a little crown right there on the back. And I'm going to have to do a little research. A lot of times crowns were used by multiple manufacturers, and they really just indicated that it was produced in a country that came under the rule of a monarch and had approval. That company had approval from the monarch to manufacture. So that may or may not help me out much. So these are two identical pieces. So if you can see these pieces right here, they also have some stones. It looks like some glass stones that are missing. And I do believe that both of these may have had the clasp worked on too, because it's a different kind of metal. And what's also interesting is, even though they are identical on the front, the way the clasps are set and the length of the pins and all is different on the back. So I do believe that at least one of these has had some work done on it, and it does, to me, look like both of them. So, but again, these are pretty heavy. Maybe some pot metal in those. And again, they do have some age on them. So it's just something I'm not very familiar with, and I'm going to have to do a lot more research. Now this one, I just think this one is really cool. This one has these little blue stones, I guess, that are in the shape of flowers. And unfortunately, there is one missing up here, but it is a really cool piece. And it also does look like the back has been replaced, because it is a different type of metal on that clasp. So this is gonna make me research my jewelry. And then the last piece in that lot, actually, I really like. This one appears to be maybe brass. It's not very heavy, because the leaves, can you see how the leaves are pressed out of a thin sheet? So they're not very thick. And this one does not really look like it's had the clasp replaced because it has a very old style of clasp. If you can see that, it's just a little hook shape that the pin slides under. And another thing that indicates age on the back of this pin to me is if you can see how far beyond the clip the pin goes. Older brooches often had pins that went much further beyond the little clasp than what the more modern ones do. So those tell me that this is an older pin and hasn't been worked on like the other ones. So we'll see. I'll look at them. All right. Now this lot was probably my biggest gamble. It was my biggest expense. And we're going to see if this one paid off because after looking at it, I still don't know. But we're going to find out. So this one, this is kind of fun. This is a teeny tiny little pin. I almost, when I first saw it, I thought it was like the back of a pin that had come off of something else. And then I realized, oh no, it has carving in it. And the label on this lot said that this was made from jet. So it does have a very old style hook. So that just a little C hook where the pin comes out. And it is pretty stiff in its mechanism there. But it is really small and very small detailed little carving there, but it's really pretty. I'm not sure what this small of a pin or brooch would have been used for, but it's really interesting to me. It's the first time I've seen something identified as jet. I've read about it, and so I'm going to have to do a little bit more research. And then kind of along the same lines, there was this other little pin, very small, similar. This may have been, and I forget what they call it, kind of like a tie pin when men were wearing ascots. Is that what they call them? Where they use the little pins on that. Maybe that's what it was. I'm not sure. But those are not genuine stones. They look like glass or paste maybe. But it is an interesting little pin. It does have a very old style clasp. And so that one looks like a lot of fun to look into. All right. Now this piece, it is a very dainty little child or baby's necklace. You know, it would need to be a very small human for that to fit. And the beads are just super tiny. And my question is, I need to find out whether these are actually genuine seed pearls or if they are just, you know, an imitation pearl. What makes me think that they may possibly be a real pearl is the clasp. Now this is an old style clasp that was used on finer jewelry, if you can see it, and the way it comes apart is there's this little U that slides in and you just squeeze the ends and then unhook it. So it's a safety clasp also, because even if it comes unclasped, you know, even if it comes out, it's still hooked, so you won't lose the necklace. And inside, on the sides right there, inside this little clasp, on both sides, it says sterling. Now there's no way I'm going to be able to show you that on camera, but it does say sterling in there. So hello, Tilly. Tilly came to photobomb. Say hi, Tilly. Hi, Tilly. Yes, she ran off with some of the jewelry earlier, and I had to get it back from her. But anyway, that being labeled sterling makes me want to investigate it just a little bit more. And besides, I really think it is adorable, and I just really love it. So this may end up on one of my lady head vases as a double strand or something, so we'll see. And then the last piece in this lot, unfortunately, it does have some condition issues because it's broken. If I can show you, it's two pieces here. So, but I said, unfortunately it's broken, but fortunately, the way it is broken is just one of these little jump rings. So it would be a very easy repair. And I really like this piece. It's really interesting to me. It looks like each of the little links has some stones. The center looks like a mother of pearl maybe. I believe the blue ones are probably glass or something. I do believe it's old because they are not the same size. They're bezel set to fit each stone individually. There is one of the blue stones missing on this one right here, which made me think that I may actually repair it by removing this link that has the stone missing, and then I would have that jump ring on the end and I can attach it, and with my wrist, if I wanted to wear it, I could. It's still a good size for me. If I decide to sell it, I may leave that up to the seller. I'm just not sure. But I am going to do a little bit more research on that before I decide, because on the clasp, and I'll show you how the clasp works. This is the clasp piece, and this clasp fits in just like that. It's very secure. You squeeze it, push this little piece down, and it slides out. And on the clasp, there actually are a few marks here. And I do need to research these marks, both for the type of metal that it is made from, as well as maker's marks. It looks like there's a WM as one of the marks. And then the other ones, there was one that said an ampersand with letters on either side was a French mark, and it does look like one of those may possibly be that. But again, this is going to take a little bit of research. I love the design. I love the mother of pearl. The blue stones are gorgeous. So yeah, this was a piece I took a chance on. I definitely think it has age. So with these, even though I paid up on it at $24 for that lot with the two tiny pins, the bracelet and the baby pearl necklace, I really think I'm going to be okay on those, because those are really cool pieces. And the last lot that I purchased, this is, let me see, I'm looking at my printout of what I got so I can tell you exactly what I bought. This was another lot that I paid up on. It was $22 and there were only 2 items in the lot. But I was pretty sure that this was a real cameo. And so I was okay with that, because I would have paid $22 just for the cameo. Now, if you can see her face, she has that little button nose, which indicates she's not a very old cameo, you know, maybe 50s or after. I do not believe that the bezel on the setting is real gold. I think it's maybe gold filled, because around the edge you can see where there's wear and there's silver underneath the gold. But I really do like the cameo itself. I think it's a really nice example. And one of the things that I think is really cool is this little dark spot right here. I hope you can see it. That is a leaf. So whoever carved the cameo left that little darker spot for the leaf and did not carve away the top color. And I thought that was just really interesting and fun. But there are tool marks indicating it was hand carved. You can see that there is a curve, a nice curve to it, indicating it is a natural shell. So yeah, it's a nice cameo. even if it isn't set in a real gold and has gold filled instead. So this one was kind of my surprise piece. This is a watch that I have no idea on the age, but you can see there it does have quite a bit of age to it. Just my gut feeling tells me that this watch is probably at least 14 karat gold. I'm gonna have to have it tested. So I think that is a 14 karat gold watch. And what is fun is this little ribbon band that's on the watch. The detailing on the little snap there, if you can see that, is very I would say art deco looking. It's got a lot of lines and geometry to it. And it's really fun how it opens. You just pop it up on those little snaps. And then when I opened that up, what I found was a mark by Hadley. So this is the band at least is a piece of Hadley jewelry. And it looks like that these pieces on the band are labeled 12 karat gold filled. So all of these pieces that are on the band are at least gold filled, and then the watch, I'm going to have to do a little bit more research to find anything else about the watch. Anyway, so the watch and the cameo were $22, and I'm okay with that. So we'll see how it goes with the jewelry. But anyway, that was my haul. I had a lot of fun. I'm enjoying the estate sales, even if they are in a little bit different format. I hope that you are able to find a way to source and being creative during this time. And if you want to, why don't you share your sourcing tips down in the comments? So be sure, if you enjoyed the video, that you hit the like button. I'd love to hear any information you have on the stuff that I showed you today. If you know anything about the jewelry or the pottery or any of it, please share it with me. And also subscribe so you won't miss any of our videos. Hope to see you next time. This is Tamara signing off for TammyToosVintage.
What do we press? The record?
Stop it.
The record button?